Hello, Betty Croswick here. This posting is going to be about Canada's military. We are being advised by the Canadian government on their website that come September 2022, that's this coming September, there are going to be many changes with the dress code of the Canadian Armed Forces. We are being told by the commander, General Wayne Eyre, that there are these very kind of weird changes coming to the military. They are going woke. I mean woke with the vengeance. What they're doing is bringing to the Canadian Armed Forces a level of wokeness, which includes gender fluidity that people are supposed to have, or a lot of people are supposed to have, where they can slip from being their actions and persona being guided by the masculine one day, and then just magically slip into their persona changing altogether to be a much more feminine persona that is presented by the same person who was masculine yesterday is going to be feminine today. And that's coming to the armed forces. General Wayne R. explains that some of the changes will be, that, for instance, our military men and women will be told by the National Defense that they can grow their hair long and color it as they wish. If they want purple hair, fine, they don't care. Orange, whatever. And the forces can also allow their fingernails to grow long and be, I guess, decorated with nail polish and stuff, and they can wear false eyelashes. Isn't that great? What an improvement on the armed forces. And any member of the military can wear any of the clothing that the military offers, and mix them up if they would like. They can wear a lady's blouse with a pair of military pants, or military shirt with a little flouncy skirt, or whatever is in the wardrobe of the general clothing uniform stuff. There are going to be all of these items in there, and the gendered people can do as they like with their clothes, and they're going to be doing their training, intermixed with the genders. And they can wear jewelry, and also, and this one, I wonder about facial tattoos. I'm not sure that's a terribly good idea, or that any of this is a terribly good idea, but especially the facial tattoos, that is a bit weird for the armed forces. That weirder than weird. And they can walk hand in hand. Any member of the armed forces can walk hand in hand with any other member, regardless of the gender. And in general, it's just going to be very, very comfortable. And is going to destroy the Canadian forces of Canada, because they will be a laughingstock of the rest of the world right now. However, I think the general hope is by the Trudeau government and Trudeau's mentor, Klaus Schwab, who is his granddaddy or goddaddy or whatever. He's Justin Trudeau, his favorite child, or one of his favorite children, and will do as Schwab instructs. I don't think he even has to instruct. He just needs to suggest what it is that the Trudeau government should do. And I think he has instructed Justin Trudeau, to destroy the Canadian military, because first they will be a laughingstock of the rest of the world, at least at the moment, until some of the other Western nations also take on the gendered military. And but then one has to ask, what would be the purpose of destroying the Canadian military? Because, a lot of guys who might have been sort of thinking about the military, because there are some perks to being in the military as far as education and maybe learning new things. And but they will really be put off by this. They're not going to be interested in a military that has that kind of a reputation. And neither will women be lining the hallways to sign up for such a weird conglomeration of genders and intermixing of these kinds of genders in all of the exercises that have to be done, that every soldier has to do, that it will be, it's all going to be intermixed and very effective, as General Eyre says. But is it? We know it's not. We know it's going to be just too weird to be born. I can't even get my head around it. The only way in which an event like this can be considered is, the old detective thing. Who benefits? Who benefits for the destruction of the Canadian military? Well, we could say that with I know people get tired of hearing me talk about it, but I don't care. It's what is up for Canada, is the Great Reset, and it is going to be a coup. It's going to be here. It's going to be shoved down our throats. It's going to be on the same line as the destructive lockdowns that went on far longer than should have gone. That has destroyed the economies of Canada and the United States and much of the Western world. The fascist attitudes that Canada and Australia and New Zealand and a lot of these countries are taking, that is, in essence, they are saying, you will take this because we are going to shove it down your throats. And this is called a coup d'etat. So the Great Reset is a coup d'etat. They are taking over They're going to do this, whether we like it or not. They don't care. They don't give a damn. They are going to do it. They're going to take charge. But there was one thing that bothers them, all of the nations that are sliding into the Great Reset, are the militaries. You know, to have a coup d'etat, there's always a military that's going to be involved. And as the Trudeau government, they're not totally sure of the attitudes of the major players in the military of the Canadian forces. So they want to, in order not to take a chance that the military might, in terms of resisting a coup d'etat, turn against the Trudeau government and prevent, be able to put up enough resistance that it would prevent the easy implication of this this coup d'etat. So they have to get, if they can't be sure of the Canadian military, then they have to figure out some way to disempower it, to make it a laughingstock, to make it so ineffective that it's helpless. It will be helpless and hopeless when the coup d'etat comes down really hard with the Great Reset, and it's accelerating in its push to get this going, or you wouldn't have this kind of military murder right now, because that's what they're doing. They're murdering the Canadian military. You wouldn't have that right now if they weren't expecting this coup d'etat to come soon. So that's my take on this. I don't feel that it can be for any other reason. It's not sensible to make an effective fighting force. They won't be able to fight their way out of a paper bag because it might smear or cut their fingernails or dislodge their hair coiffure. So that's the only reason that the Trudeau government is doing this, to make us fools, because our military are fools, and Russia and China are just laughing their heads off at this prospect. It's beyond, well, it's just beyond anything that is sensible, that is reasonable, that is effective, that, and we're paying for all of this. We taxpayers pay, they pay, we pay. So we can either just take it laying down, we could get together and raise a big fuss about it, we could, but just to know that this is by design. It's by design to destroy the military, whose main function is to protect the Canadian people from coup d'etats, you know, from our dangerous coup d'etats from abroad, or from, you know, unfriendly nations, from, and what do we get? Well, we get a wonderfully sensitive, gendered military that is going to protect us. Yes, yes, it's going to protect us. What the Trudeau government is doing is making sure they are protected. Okay? Talk to you next time. Thank you. Bye.